Donald Trump should probably be fitted for a neck brace today because the whiplash from his latest Epstein flip-flop is extreme. But while Trump scrambles to explain himself, truth seekers from both sides of the House of Representatives are sounding a different alarm. They say Trump's sudden reversal isn't some random shift. It's a setup for his boldest trick yet. And coming up next, I have the Trump White House obstruction scheme that lawmakers are calling out. But first, let's start with a CNN report that dives into the what and why behind Trump's dramatic flip, before we get to the dire warnings from both a Democrat and a Republican who are exposing the corruption of our commander-in-chief. CNN highlighted just how shocking this 180 really is. Just last week, the White House was dragging Lauren Boebert into the same Situation Room where the Osama bin Laden raid was monitored, trying desperately to flip her vote. Now, suddenly, Trump is telling House Republicans to support the very resolution he tried to stop. This position came only after it was already decided the vote would proceed, against his wishes and despite the efforts of Speaker Mike Johnson and the White House, who failed to sway the 28 Republicans, blocking Trump's preferred outcome. Tomorrow, there is expected to be a massive GOP vote for releasing the Epstein files, something that could have been the first major Republican rebellion against Trump since returning to office, if Trump hadn't conveniently embraced the bill at the last minute. But the big question now is what happens next. Will the Senate vote on it? And if it lands on Trump's desk, will he really sign it? Trump told reporters earlier, yes, we'll give them everything. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But he also tried to shift blame, calling the Epstein scandal a Democrat problem, insisting Democrats were Epstein's friends, and claiming the whole thing was a hoax meant to distract from his so-called Republican greatness. CNN pointed out that the newly released emails mention plenty of Democrats, but Epstein also mentioned Trump several times. Trump was a Mar-a-Lago member until he wasn't, and there are numerous photos and videos of the two together. So the Senate's next move will be crucial. Now that we're caught up, let's dig into Trump's path toward avoiding further Epstein fallout by using the Department of Justice for misdirection and obstruction. Watch as Democrat Jasmine Crockett and Republican Thomas Massie, who once stood alone on the GOP side, exposed Trump's next move in his war on the truth. Crockett didn't hesitate. She laid out exactly why Trump flipped, because he's already planned for the bill to die. She believes either the Senate won't take it up or they don't have the votes. In her view, Trump never intended for the files to be released. When asked if she believed the bill would be killed, she said yes, either in the Senate or through another tactic. Before, files couldn't be released because there were active cases. Now, Crockett says the administration simply stopped investigating Epstein because they didn't want to talk about him at all. With cases closed, nothing prevented the files from being opened, until Trump ordered the DOJ to look into my enemies and investigate what he now calls a hoax. If there are new open cases, the law allows them to block release due to ongoing investigations. That gives Trump a ready-made excuse. Massie confirmed her fear. He said he's worried Trump is opening a flurry of investigations as a predicate to keep the files hidden. When asked whether Trump might try to block release, Massie didn't mince words. I'm afraid they'll use a provision of the law that allows you not to release materials if they're part of an ongoing investigation. When asked what he thought Trump was doing, Massie said it plainly. For 4 months, Trump believed his best option was to keep the files secret, and someone finally convinced him that pretending to support release might look better. But if Trump is serious, Massie said, he should release them right now because he has the power. It's rare to see Democrats and Republicans agree on anything, but right now they're sounding the same alarm. Donald Trump is gearing up to weaponize the DOJ to save himself from the Epstein avalanche. His strategy is simple. Bury the files behind a wall of ongoing investigations. Frame the obstruction as lawfulness and stall momentum long enough to protect himself while continuing his White House reign of corruption and chaos. Trump can maneuver to block the release of files that mention him thousands of times, but he can't block the tidal wave of public sentiment crashing down on him. He said he would release the files, then said he wouldn't, then claimed it was real but only Democrats were guilty. And now he's trying to bury everything under an investigation shield. It remains to be seen whether the House can defeat Trump with the files. But in the meantime, Trump is burying himself with his own contradictions and taking the Republican Party down with him as the MAGA base grows more disgusted. And when the midterms arrive and Republicans lose their majority and their grip on power, a fury of long delayed justice is likely to follow.